Give it a pull. There you go. Success. The oil looked pretty good. Ground bed. Hey guys, this is Bill, Flatbroke Garage. Thanks for checking me out. If you're new, welcome. I hope you stick around. If you're a regular, you probably recognize this thing. Yep. That is a 1971 Ford 302 that's bolted to a C4 transmission. This 302 is a two-barrel that came out of a 1971 Torino that we so lovingly persuaded it to come out of. I plan on using this engine on a future project because I can, I guess. There's really no rhyme or reason to it other than I got a bunch of old parts. I'm going to throw them together and make it run and drive. Now, whether it's going to stay together, that's up to be decided yet. But let me tell you about this thing. The car sat in the woods for 25 plus years. Luckily, the engine did still turn over on this one. The other car that came with it, the engine was froze, but I got that broke loose and it runs and drives. You can see a description of that car or video back on my channel. It did turn over. I did hear it fire briefly. 302 Ford. It kind of replaced a 289 somewhere around the late 60s, and I think they made 302s up until about 2000, 2001. I'm sure somebody will verify that in the description below, but I think the end of them was around 2001. They were in Explorers. It was kind of the workhorse of Ford for that whole time period, for their mid-sized cars up to light trucks, and they're kind of bulletproof engines. They're the 306 of the V8 world in the Ford descriptions, I guess. So yeah, they're pretty bulletproof. You can make a lot of horsepower out of them, and they just run forever. So my plan is to get this thing cleaned up. Nothing major, just kind of check it over, pull the valve covers, make sure it spins over, get an ignition on it, throw a carburetor on it, and fire it up. See if it'll run, and if it does run, clean it up, and then we're going to end up dumping this thing into my project. All in all, it doesn't look like it was really leaking a lot of oil anywhere. I took the distributor cap off for the other car. This car also is missing the alternator and alternator bracket and power steering and power steering bracket. They took them off both cars. Kind of weird. Pulleys are missing, so somebody needed a pulley drive for something. It was an AC car. The oil, I think I checked it when we got it. The oil looked pretty good. There's something. Yeah, but the oil's full. It's not milky. You know, it's a little dirty, but that's to be expected. It has mouse turds and mouse nests and nut shells and just about everything stuck to it. Little oil in the back. Of course, the C4 is leaking in all the C4 places. I did notice right here, if you can see it, the manifold's cracked. I mean, it's not going to do anything. It's just tick, 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 probably when it ran. But missing a valve cover bolt. I brought a battery up. I'm just going to hook some wires to it and see if it spins. Like I said, I have turned this engine over. I know it turns over. I'm not binding anything up. It spun over by hand when we found it in the woods. So we're going to spin it over and see if it's got compression or a loping sound. And, well, of course they're both black, but looks like this is our ground. That doesn't fit very well. And this is our lead going to the starter that hopefully isn't shorted out on anything, but oh, ground bed. Doesn't sound too bad. Boy, those terminals got hot. Maybe pull these valve covers off and see what lies beneath. Hope it's better than the other engine. Whew. So I started pulling the spark plugs from this engine. Engine was running pretty rich. Got some oil on it, but it's not horrible. So let me finish pulling these plugs. I'm going to soak these cylinders down with some PB Blaster. I'm going to let it sit. I know it turned over. Like I said, I know it ran, but I just kind of want to fill it up with some juice, give it a shot. I never expected to keep in this engine or using it, but we'll get the valve covers pulled off, get these plug holes filled up, and we'll let it sit for a while and see what we get. Well, I got all four out on the driver's side, and again, they're not horrible. I mean, well, let's see what kind of carnage we have under these valve covers. See if they did their oil changes. I got the bolts out. All right, moment of truth. Is it going to be coffee grounds or clean? Wow. Actually, that's pretty nice. That thing's really clean. I'm pretty impressed. This engine looks better than that engine I got for the Mustang for Ashley's car. I could have probably just plug and played this thing. Still got to get rid of all the mouse leavings, but before I do anything to it, I kind of want to check the health of it. And man, that looks pretty good. So I guess I get the air hose out. We're going to blow all this off, or it's what we can. I'll try and scrape some of this crap off. I mean, well, it's kind of dry and easy. I've had this thing, the car always had a hood on it. It's pretty much always been dry. So it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't look like any water got into the engine. It's not over full. The oil's not cloudy. But it's sitting in the back of the truck here. Oh, look at that. There's a production stamp, that triangle. I guess I'm not a Ford encyclopedia, but I'm pretty sure that's a factory mark on there. Well, there we go. We did a budget rebuild on the spark plugs because spark plugs are getting expensive. I did happen to have lying around points, condenser, rotor, and cap. I bought them for a project, never used them. But the thing I was missing are the little screws that hold the points down. So my buddy Russ gave me a set, and I kind of wrapped them up in tape so I don't lose them. Those are some special little machine screws. I soaked this engine down with PB Blaster. I'm going to spin it over and kick out the excess goo. Pull the plate off the carb and clean up the distributor. Put an ignition on this carburetor. Put a fuel system on it, and it should run. So let's get zigging on this. It's getting hot out. I want to hear this thing fire before it gets way too hot. Just for the heck of it, while I got all the plugs out, I throw a compression tester in it and see what kind of compression we got. Ta-da. What are you guys guessing? Put it down there in the comments before I do it. What do you think this thing's going to have for compression? Let's take a look. First cylinder up front here, 100 pounds. Not horrible. Not horrible at all. Let's try the next one. Cylinder number 2. Come on. Wow, there you go. 120, 130. Awesome. We're in the 130 range again. Last cylinder on this side. Around 120. Not bad. That's still good. Not as good, only 90 pounds, but the rings on that one might come around. Check these next 3 and see what we got. Not good. Again, we got a sticky valve on that side. Did you see the way it jumped around? I think that's the valve not closing all the way. And where they were all loose. Yeah, she's not going to be perfect, but last one. Let's see what we get. So this whole side's weak. 50 pounds. Wow. So we basically got a 4-cylinder engine. So we got 100. All those are 125. 100, 75, 50 to 100, and 75. Like I said, it could just be the rings. Maybe it'll come back around if we get a fire up. There's enough compression there to make it go. So let's get the plugs back in and assemble the top end and give it some juice. All right, let's try this again. I thought I'd turn the camera on when I put the carburetor and cap on, but the GoPro didn't turn on. Anyways, it's actually less of a carburetor and more of just a funnel. It's just a junk carburetor core I got laying around. It's got nothing on it, but it should be a good vessel in which to dump gasoline. I just ran a wire out of the points. We're going to hook it up to a coil on the negative side on this. And then we're just going to run a hot wire, 12 volt, I know that's wrong, to the battery. And we're going to pour some 2-cycle gas in the carburetor just to see if we can get a pop and fire. 99% sure I got the wiring right. I don't know why the compression's so low on one side of the engine, not the other. Like I said, it could be the rings. Valve's not seating right, but everything moved and turned. Oh, it's a mystery. It'll either free up or break. All right, well, let me go get some vice grips, some 2-cycle gas. We'll pour some down there, and we'll see if smoke comes out of there. All right. Pour just a smidge of gas down in there. Oh, look at the gas run out. That's not good. We already got vacuum leaks. Let's hook a hot wire up. And see if we got any kind of go. Do you see that? That's awesome, dude. First, honest to God. That was cool. Let's try it again. Come on, baby. It runs. Yeah, I knew it ran. I mean, that's the most I've ever heard it run. But that just gives me more ambition now to actually get a carburetor that doesn't pour fuel out and actually works. Clean this engine up and throw this thing in my junk project. This is cool. Engine's out. And I thought to myself, I said, as long as this thing's up here, might as well kind of clean this thing up while it's in working range. Guy hates to bend. So my plan is I'm going to order one of those Chinesium carbs, get some valve cover gaskets, get a fuel pump, water pump, pull the AC junk off. We're going to kind of clean this thing up and throw a paint of Marketplace Rebuild on it, because like I said, I am going to throw this into another car, but probably down the road it's going to go into something else. But follow along, click and subscribe to see what I put this thing in, because I'm kind of interested myself to see if this car is actually going to run and drive and get back on the road. I just got a title for it too. I can't believe I got a title for this thing. But wait till you see what I got coming. It'll be later on in July. We'll put this thing in there and I'm going to drive it, I hope. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Be sure to follow along, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.